morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my Let's Play of the Elder Scrolls Online. In the last episode, we had just completed the public dungeon Crowswood. I don't know if we necessarily helped the people in there, but I feel like they got what they deserved, honestly. And in this episode, we have just one more random quest to kind of do in Davon's Watch. And then we'll move outside the city to Stonefalls and make our way over to Ash Mountain. Oops, wrong button there. Always end up doing that. So we'll bypass all these DLC guys. And this one random quest is pretty short. Nothing too special, but I feel like it still adds to the area. This guy right here, Tamriel.
Honor to you, traveler. Name's Tamriel. I'm guessing you're new in town and need some work. It's a bit of luck we met because I need some help in a business deal.
What did you have in mind?
You may have heard Stonefalls is under attack. This makes some things very lucrative. Take wine. If I had a particular bottle, there's a party who'd pay well for it.
Are you asking me to steal some wine?
Please, procure. There's a bottle of Tears of Amaya hoarded by a Nord tavern keeper here. I offered to buy, but he won't sell. Frankly, he'll never drink it, so he'd never know if it was replaced by a copy.
Okay, as long as the money's good, I'm in.
I knew you were game.
Can you tell me more about this tavern, though?
It's the Fish Stink, down by the docks. A brute named Hector runs it. He's unreasonable about his precious bottle. You can't just smooth talk it away from him.
And how do I take the wine?
With cleverness. Swap that bottle out when he's not looking. He probably can't tell the difference between good wine and swill.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to work something out.
I knew you were game.
Okay, so we'll hop back on our mount here, and the inn in question is actually down here towards the cave where we started off at. Here we go. So we have, let's see, ask bar patrons about distracting the bartenders, so we'll might as well talk to these two.
Greetings, stranger. Long journey?
You have no idea.
Have you eaten yet? The large, foul-tempered rats on the docks taste really good. It's a pity the barkeep doesn't care for them. I don't know why.
Okay. So this one we have rats, I believe.
Pardon me, I'm showing the Scale Sister around town before we take up blades for the Pact.
What do you know about the barkeep?
He's a crank. He hates drunk singing in his bar. Apparently he only likes beautiful voices.
Okay, so we got either, you know, someone singing or rats. I think the easiest one might be to find one of these rats down over this way. Yeah. Let's grab this big old boy right here. And then I believe we just set him free and he'll run from his post. Oh, where's it at? Wait, there we go. Use call wharf rat.
What in the name of Vivek do you put in this stuff?
Okay. Not the one I expected him to go for, but I'll take it. Still got the bottle.
Do I detect the bouquet of Tears of Amaya?
I was able to get the wine from Hector.
Ah, it's good to make new business acquaintances. Remember Tamriel, my friend. We may see each other again.
We may. Hopefully not. So again, pretty simple quest. Nothing really much to it, just stealing a bottle of wine. And while we're here, actually, we're going to do a little bit of fishing try and get these saltwater fish out of the way for our achievement here. Let's go make our way down this way. There we go. And let's see. Achievements, exploration. Wait, now we go Stonefalls. Fishing. Catch all 12 fish in Stonefalls, rare fish rather. So we have Akaviri Rice, however you pronounce it. Trevally and Armorhead. So we have to find and catch those 3 types. Or we can, well, not really before we can move to the others, but we'll do Salt Lake first, or Saltfish first, and then move on to the other 2 types. So let's get our bait here. Saltwater bait, there we go. And hopefully this doesn't take too long. Okay, so finally got all 3 of them. Didn't take terribly too long, but I'm gonna end up cutting out a bunch that you guys are not gonna be able to see there. But now that we are done with that, we can move on outside of Davon's watch here. And on to this little battlefield that they got going on here. Let's see what's going on.
These things come from. Keep it short, stranger. I've got a skeever's nest of problems on my hands.
What's the problem?
Problem? I've got a battlefield full of ghosts, sprung out of the ground like corn in the month of mid-year. They killed those Covenant bastards, which is great. But how do you kill what's already dead? My mages can't even agree on what to do.
What do you want me to do?
I've known Furan and Risa for a while now. I respect them both. I just need to know which of them has the better idea. Start with Furan, then talk to Risa. Hear them out and do what they ask of you. When you've decided what's best, let me know.
Okay, I will give you my decision soon.
I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what I was going to do out here. Thank you, Traveler.
So you mentioned Covenant soldiers?
Yes. Damned skeevers snuck around the city and came at us from the wastes to the north. Damned good strategy. Hit us from this side and by sea and squeezed the city in the middle. Hope Holgan and his troops are holding up.
Hogan's actually fine. I helped him stop the attack on Davon's watch.
Damn, but that's good to hear. Drove those daggers back into the sea, eh? Heh, good work. As soon as we get these things dealt with, I'll buy him a drink. Maybe introduce him to the fish stink down on the docks.
So where did the spirits come from?
Do I look like a Telvanni mage? I have no idea. Furan said something about climber elves. I guess the dark elves used to be really good at scaling mountains. Look, just ask him and leave me to the soldiering.
Okay. Yeah. let's go see what he has to say.
Today? Of all days? What was it about today that made these spirits become so restless?
You're talking about the ghosts?
Ah, greetings. Yes, I was just thinking about the situation here. These spirits make up an ancient army of Kaimer warriors. Blade masters from the time before Red Mountain. It's fascinating to observe ancestors so closely.
So the sergeant asked me to speak with you. Do you have a plan to deal with them?
My brother's plan, actually. Giron believes we can control the dead, harness them in a powerful defense for the Watch. His method must be tested before we attempt a larger ritual.
Tested how?
Take this smoky pendant and use it on one of the ancient dead. You may have to weaken it a bit first. If it binds a spirit, bring both back to me. If it doesn't, well, we'll deal with that when the time comes.
Okay, I'll see it done.
Go bind a spirit. I need to know if the ritual can work.
Can I ask you a few questions about these spirits first?
Do you really need to know more to use Giron's pendant? Fine. I will answer what questions you have.
So you said these spirits are Chimer?
Yes. The ancient precursors to the noble Dark Elf race. Warred with the Dwemer and the Needs from the north. Sought to master the world around them. A rich race with a fascinating history. But not important right now.
And why did they attack the Covenant?
They seem to be attacking everyone. Clearly, these soldiers died in battle. In death, their hatred and battle lust lives on eternally. The perfect weapon in the right hands.
And do you know where the spirits came from?
I have theories. The volcano, the Covenant, several variables to account for. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say some kind of magical disturbance, combined with the presence of an invading army, rousted the Chimer from Aetherius.
Okay. So, let's go see if we can get one of these guys with the pendant that we just got. I don't want to do too much damage to him. There we go. He looks so scared.
Ah, you brought a spectral friend. Nicely done.
So this proves your brother's ideas work then.
Just so. It proves we can force these spirits to guard Davon's watch. A potent defense from any future siege. Giron has a plan for repeating this ritual on a larger scale.
The sergeant wanted me to speak to Risa before deciding.
A word with you. Over here.
Oh, Jesus.
Away from the brothers.
Well, like 10 feet?
Please, talk with me. What the Ree brothers' plan is wrong.
What do you want to talk about, Risa?
Enslaving the dead is evil. Furon does not understand this. As for Giron, I think he does not care. There is a better way.
You have a different plan then?
Just so. Take this talisman, use it, and learn how to free a spirit. They will cling to this world, so first, you must weaken them. When you have done this, speak to me again.
Okay, I'll give your talisman a shot. Alright, so it seems like his is enslavement, hers is more freedom. I think I like her idea more for now. We'll see how it works though. I want to kill you. Just for you.
I'm free.
Poor guy, he can't attack it. It worked out rather well, I think.
I can feel it. The talisman has been used.
Yes, the spirit seemed grateful to be released.
It was. Spirits are not meant to be trapped. Furon wants to enslave them through magic, but that's torture to the dead. Freeing these spirits is the right path.
I will definitely consider your words. I'll just talk to Sergeant, give him our decision here.
I need a solution. Stabbing spirits gets us nowhere. Any ideas?
I've made my decision.
Well, it's all beyond me. I'm just another sword swinger. What should we do?
Risa's right. We should set them free.
Well, maybe enslaving their dead's not the best idea. That Scaleback sees the world differently, but she's seldom wrong. Let Risa know. She'll tell you the rest.
Sounds like a plan.
You made the right decision.
So how do we free these spirits?
By freeing their commanders. Where they go, their men will follow. The cracks in the earth have uncovered relics of the past. Search for relics belonging to the Chimera General and his captains. Then we can wrest their attention from the past.
Who are these officers you're talking about?
The dead have spoken to me like whispers on the wind. Their leader is a powerful Mer named Red Rathrin. He was accompanied by his most loyal soldiers, 2 women named Adrana and Risari. Relics of their service should be perfect for the ritual.
So once I have the relics, then what?
I will meet you at a nearby Daedric ruin. It's the perfect space to complete the ritual. Find me there with the relics, and we will return these dead men to their rest.
Okay, I will see you there. Alright, so now we have to save, or actually collect 3 relics from the captains over here. Captains, officers, whatever you want to call them. Let's see if we can get there. So there is the first one. Can't use it for some reason. There we go.
Fear the fury of the unliving.
I don't, though. It actually looks like we got another quest for this area.
The river flows so slowly. Much slower than I remember. A living soul. It has been so long. To walk the river again, it is so strange and so sad.
Why are you sad, Spirit?
I and the other Saxley have not returned willingly. We Argonians were slaves to the Chimera in our time, as I sense they can be today. Even in death, we serve our cruel masters, slaves to their will.
Can I do anything to aid you now?
The Chimera would not willingly release us to Aetherius. To set their souls free on the river, you will have to destroy the Keepers. If you would do this, you will find me on the road away from here. I sense something I must see for myself.
Okay, I will set them free. Yeah, definitely. So luckily that quest is part of the same little area here, so this should be should flow together pretty well. Yeah, there's one right here. Rid of him.
I appreciate it.
Free that slave, perfect. Got another one right here. Our second burial mound.
Why do you defile the dead?
I didn't do it, man. Oh, and did I free him? I guess I did. Awesome. So we freed all the slaves. We just have one more relic to dig out over here. You bitch. I gotta wait for him. Come on. Come on.
The fallen will not be disturbed.
Okay. And perfect. Got another lore book here. Aedra and Daedra. The designations of gods, demons, Aedra, and Daedra are universally confusing to the layman. They are often used interchangeably. Aedra and Daedra are not relative terms. They are elvish and exact. Azura is a Daedra both in Skyrim and Morrowind. Aedra is usually translated as ancestor, which is as close as Cyrodiilic can come to this elven concept. Daedra means roughly not our ancestors. This distinction was crucial to the Dunmer, whose fundamental split in ideology is represented in their mythical genealogy. Aedra are associated with stasis. Daedra represent change. Aedra created the mortal world and are bound to the earth bones. Daedra, who cannot create, have the power to change. As part of the divine contract of creation, the Aedra can be killed. Witness Lorcan and the Moons. The Protean Daedra, for whom the rules do not apply, can only be banished. Interesting. I actually never knew the difference between the two, so that's pretty helpful actually. So let us head up top here to complete the ritual.
Let's see if we can put these spirits to rest. You have their charms. When you are ready, place them on the brazier. Then I will begin the calling.
Okay, easy enough. We're out of here in the brazier.
Lead your men to the lands beyond. Begone!
Fool! You don't have the power to compel me.
Pure rains make sweet rivers. Your wisdom is your strength.
Is it done?
Their leaders have moved beyond. May they find peace. For now, the rest remain like moths. They're no threat to the living, but they'll soon follow.
Nice. I'm glad we could make this a little bit of a better place.
You sacrificed power to give the dead peace. This was not an easy choice. Your kindness means there's hope. I think it's up to me and my assistants to give back.
What do you mean?
We want to bestow a unique gift to this battlefield, a sacrifice to allow plants and trees to grow again. Even a dry swamp regrows after many rains.
And how will you do this?
I will explain in time. For now, go to the Quama chamber east of here and find the mushroom called Quama Cap. I must speak with my students. I will meet you there.
Okay, I will see that it's done. I think he's got this fight. Almost. Just gonna make sure he's alright. Okay, and this should be the cave that she was referring to. Gotta collect a Quama Cap. Let's go and search these bags while we're here. Might as well. Everything seems pretty peaceful to me right now. Ah, there it is. Uh-oh, that made him not so happy. and kind of lead them all out here. There we go.
You have the Kwama cap?
I sure do. Here it is.
I will not touch it. Yet. Please, take a piece to each of my students. They understand what must be done, and they are ready. After that, meet me at the southern mustering camp.
What must be done?
War has wounded this land. Now it is our turn to sacrifice, so the plane can heal. My students understand this, and are willing.
Okay, I think I understand. What it sounds like, they might be sacrificing themselves, possibly. It's very bold. Very brave.
Welcome, traveler.
The Kwama cap. Do you know what will happen?
Yes, my body will perish, but my soul will become one with the trees of this place. The land will bloom again. Please, give me the cap.
Okay, here you go. And they are really dedicated, huh? So their whole essence just kind of seeps into the land. That's pretty awesome.
I stand ready to assist Risa.
I have the Kwama cap. You know what this means.
Yes, and I am grateful. When we meet in the next world, tell me how beautiful the land became.
Be at peace. I just hope this actually over time changes from, you know, a lava battlefield to something beautiful. I wonder if that'll ever happen.
The smell of brimstone is strong in my nostrils. Even as a spirit, this place smells of ash and death. Have you done as I asked?
Yes, they can move on now.
You are very kind. Strangely kind for a place like the Ashlands. I stand here, tasting the air. And do you know what I've learned?
What? What have you learned?
The Saxilil you saved, the Argonians, they are not the only ones in danger. This pact forged in the wake of war is fragile. So fragile. Remember the history of violence against my people, and treat them well as you walk the river's edge.
Thank you for the warning.
My brethren are safe, and the Ashlands bubble with hope. I pass now down the river to swim in the currents of Aetherius. Go well in your own passage, traveler.
You as well. Oh man. I'm starting to see why it's so fragile. The way that these guys were treated beforehand. It's a shame.
They are brave, my acolytes. Now it comes to me. Our blood will be the water, our bones the soil.
Here's the cap for you, Risa.
I will make this gift, this sacrifice. Trees, plants, one day it will all bloom again. Blood is water, water is life. May the Hist embrace you.
And you as well. Oh, that looks painful. Oh no. Did hers not go like it was supposed to? The other guys, they just turned into orbs, right? And she burned. Oh no. She burned hard. I hope it worked. I really do. Okay. Looks like we got somebody else to talk to over on this side.
He's that blasted lizard. I remember when I'd hunt here for days and not see a soul. The war was on and people stayed behind walls or stuck to roads. Those days are behind us.
What are you doing out here?
Like I said, I was hunting. But now that the volcano's erupted, I'm headed to Davon. Don't want to get cooked. I'll be leaving as soon as my suite of a partner shows up. You haven't run into an Argonian named Stands in Still Water, have you?
No, I haven't actually.
He's a good friend, but he never shuts up. Nothing still about him. He was supposed to meet me here, but I've waited too long already. If you're heading north of Ash Mountain, can you keep an eye out for him? He should have a camp up there.
If I find him, I'll tell him you're looking for him.
Thanks. Not many willing to help these days, especially a dusty Ashlander like me. We'd planned to rest up at the Davanus' farm near Cragganmore before passing through the Davon gate. He should know it.
Wait, you're an Ashlander?
That's right. Though, in truth, I have no clan. I make my living hunting and trading. Stillwater and I try to keep to the wilds and stay out of the way.
What happened to your clan?
They're alive and well. But that's a longer story that I don't have time for. Stillwater is a bit of an outcast himself. He escaped House Drez as a slave before the pact was signed. I think that's why we've stuck together for so long.
It's very sweet. Hopefully I can find him. Let's just see. Fate of a friend. Sholdrashi asked me to search north of Ash Mountain for her hunting partner. I believe... yeah, it's right over there. Which is actually a point of interest that we gotta find. And while we're there, conveniently we can do a Dolmen, World Boss, and this Delph along the way. Awesome. Ooh, big guy. What's he doing here? And before this goes away, because they're pretty short-lived, let's go do this, and we'll come back and read that note.
You do not yet know fear. I shall make you. I am patient, but not that patient.
Okay, not too bad. One down. One dolmen down. Let's go and see if we can read this note here. Stands in Stillwater. The Argonian's body is just starting to coil. Uh-oh. Stands in Stillwater seems to have been ripped open by an aelet. His dagger is still sheathed at his side. an obvious sigil in the hilt, or on the hilt. So I'll take that dagger, and that way I can present it to a friend. That's really sad. Let's hope we can find him alive. Let's take a look at his journal. Can't put it off any longer. Drashi's right. We need to head inland. Deshaun may be down into the swamps of my homeland. Too much ash in the air. Sounds of combat on the horizon. The three banners have come to Stonefall, and there's no place for independents like us. Shame, too. I like this place. Shodrashi and I have a good thing going in the Ashlands. Always some nasty piece of work crawling out from behind the mushrooms, or crawling up from the volcano's vents. She deals with the House Dunmer. I talk to the Ashlanders. We're making good coin and going where we want. I hope this lasts. The wild suits me just fine, but then they seem to suit her as well. Never thought I'd take on a dark elf as a partner, but she seems to respect me. Shodrashi doesn't ask questions, doesn't give orders, just does her job. Some days we go hours without talking. She's like the wind in that way. It's been years since I escaped from under the yoke of House Drez, and still my scars hurt. That day I learned what I was worth to my master, what I was worth to a dark elf. I would listen to the wind at night, hoping against it would carry me away. The day I made my escape, I took the dagger, the one he cut me with. As long as I live, it will be my reminder. Can't allow myself to forget. So that's where it came from, the sigil on it. And we actually have another lore scroll. Ancient Scrolls of the Dwemer. That's the word. IA or 1A. The Ransom of Zarek, Part 1 by Marabal Sul. Jalimil stood in her garden and read the letter her servant had brought her. The banquet of roses in her hand fell to the ground. Or a bouquet, sorry. For a moment, it was as if all birds had ceased to sing and a cloud had passed over the sky. Her carefully cultivated haven seemed to flood over with darkness. We have thy son, it read. We will be in touch with thee shortly with our ransom demands. Zarek had never made it as far as Akgun after all. One of the brigands on the road, orcs probably, or accursed Dunmer, must have seen his well-appointed carriage and taken him hostage. Jalamil clutched at a post for support, wondering if her body had been hurt. He was but a student, not the sort to fight against well-armed men, but had they beaten him? It was more than a mother's heart could bear. Don't tell me they sent the ransom note so quickly, called a familiar voice, and a familiar face appeared through the hedge. It was Zarek. Jalamil hurried to embrace her boy, tears running down her face. What happened? She cried. I thought thou hadst been kidnapped. I was, said Zarek. 3 huge, soaring Nords attacked my carriage on the Fremvoren Pass. Brothers, as I learned, named Matthias, Ulin, and Korg. Thou shalt have seen these men, mother. Each one of them would have had trouble fitting through the front door, I can tell thee. What happened? Jalamil repeated. Wert thou rescued? I thought about waiting for that, but I knew they'd send a ransom note, and I know how thou dost worry. So I remembered what my mentor at Akgun always said about remaining calm, observing their surroundings, and looking for thy opponent's weakness. Zarek grinned. It took a while, though, because these fellows were truly monsters. And then when I listened to them bragging to one another, I realized that vanity was their weakness. What didst thou do? They had me chained at their camp in the woods, not far from Kale on a high knoll overlooking a wide river. I heard one of them, Korg, telling the other that it would take the better part of an hour to swim across the river and back. They were nodding in agreement when I spoke up. I could swim that river and back in 30 minutes, I said. It's impossible, said Korg. I can swim faster than a little whelp like thee. So it was agreed that we would dive off the cliff, swim to the center of the island, and return. As we went to our respective rocks, Korg took it upon himself to lecture me about all the fine points of swimming, the importance of synchronized movements of the arms and legs for maximum speed, and how essential it was to breathe after only the third or fourth stroke, not too often to slow thyself down, but not too little to lose one's air. I nodded and agreed to all his fine points. Then we dove off the cliffs. I made it to the island and back in little over an hour, but Korg never returned. He had dashed his brains at the rocks at the bottom of the base cliff. I had noticed the telltale signs of underwater rocks, and I had taken the diving rock on the right. "But thou returned?" asked Jilamil, astounded. "Was that not when thou escaped?" "It was too risky for me to escape then," said Zarek. "They could have easily caught me again, and I wasn't keen to be blamed for Korg's disappearance. I said I did not know what happened to him, and after some searching they decided he had forgotten about the race and had swum ashore to hunt for food. They could not see how I could have anything to do with his disappearance, as fully visible as I was throughout my swim." The two brothers began making camp along the rocky cliff edge, picking an ideal location so that I would not be able to escape. One of the brothers, Matthias, began commenting on the quality of the soil and the gradual incline of the rock that circled around the bay below. It was ideal, he said, for a foot race. I expressed my ignorance of the sport, and he was keen to give me details on the proper technique for running a race. He made absurd faces showing how one must breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, how to bend one's knees to the proper angle on the rise, and the importance of sure foot placement. Most important, he explained, was that one must keep an aggressive but not too strenuous pace if one intends to win. It is fine to run in second place through the race, he said, provided one has the willpower and strength to pull out in the end. I was an enthusiastic student, and Matthias decided that we ought to run a quick race around the edge of the bay before night fell. William told us bring some firewood when we came back. We began at once down the path, skirting the cliff below. I followed his advice about breath, gait, and foot placement, but I ran with all my power right from the start. Despite his much longer legs, I was a few paces ahead as we rounded the first corner. With his eyes on my back, Matthias did not see the gap in the rock that I jumped over. He plummeted over the cliff before he had a chance to cry out. I spent a few minutes gathering some twigs before I returned to Ulin at camp. Oh man, what a read. Wonder where the next one is. That's kind of actually a pretty interesting story. Okay, so next up we are going to pick off this little war boss here. Actually, no, we're not, because it was just killed recently. So forget that, and we'll go up to the Delve. Inner Sea Armature. Got a nice little chest right off the bat. So I should hopefully make pretty quick work of this place. It isn't entirely too big, but we do have a sky shard to get, as well as a little world boss or a Del boss to kill, and I think a lore book along the way. Let's head on this way. These guys luckily don't really take much to kill. And I think we're actually good on the oh, book. That's probably the one that we read outside. So it's usually on that table right there. Let's get the sky shard. So I'm also trying to keep an eye out for any kind of like lore pages or notes about the place that we're at to read on the way. But I haven't really noticed any yet. Where is this though? What is this? Constructs left hand. Interesting. Wonder what that goes to. And there goes the Del boss out of the way. Let's check around everywhere here for anything to read. That tells us a little bit about this place. Doesn't seem to be anything inside of here. I figured if it were to be anywhere, it'd be the main boss room. Okay, so we got one more route to take on the way out. Maybe we'll find something along the way there. Okay, well that's actually a little bit sad. I was hoping to get a little bit of information about the place. But, oh well, what can you do? And on that note, we are going to end the episode here for today. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. And I will see you guys on the next episode.